I'm going to show you how to take your spending data and build this awesome Google Sheets dashboard all the way from scratch. Once you've made it, you just adjust the year and month, and all of the calculations and charts update automatically. Not to mention, you can keep adding data to the spreadsheet over time and potentially use this spreadsheet for years. Also, you can download the file using the link in the description, which contains the raw data final dashboard and an extra sheet that you can use yourself to build the whole thing. That being said, let's get to it. The first thing we'll do is create 3 range names that will make it easier to write our formulas later on. Specifically, we'll create range names that refer back to the dates, the categories, and the amount values. So, start by going to Data, Named Ranges, click Add a Range, make the range name Date Range with no spaces because range names cannot have spaces. Then change the range below to A2 through A. And this will force the range name to reference everything from cell A2 all the way down through the rest of column A. And then of course, click Done. Click Add a Range again, make the name Category Range, change the range to B2 through B, click Done, click Add a Range again, make the name Amount Range, change the range to D2 through D, and click Done. You should now have 3 range names that look like this. Close the range names window and move to the blank sheet so that you can start the dashboard build. The first thing that we'll do here is set up the look and feel of the dashboard by adding in colors, borders, and other formatting. So begin by selecting column A, hold Control or Command if you're a Mac user, and also select columns D, F, H, and J. Right-click on the column headers, select Resize Column, set the size to 50, and click OK. Select column B, right-click, Resize Column, set the size to 150, click OK. Select column E, hold Control, also select columns G and I, right-click, Resize Columns, set the size to 200, and click OK. Next, let's turn off the grid lines by going to View, Show, Uncheck Grid Lines. Then click here in between the row and column headers to select every cell in the worksheet. Click the Fill Color button here and set the fill color to light gray too. Then select B2 through B3, bold the font, set the fill color to light blue 3, click the Borders button, change the color to dark gray 1, and click this to apply all borders. Next, select C2 through C3, click the Fill Color button, click Reset, go to Borders, All Borders, then select E2 through E3, bold the font, reset the fill color, go to Borders, All Borders. Now go ahead and copy the range, then select G2 and paste, select I2 and paste. Then select cell E2, set the fill color to light red 3, select cell E3, and change the text color to dark red 2. Then select G2, set the fill color to light yellow 3, select G3, change the text color to dark yellow 3. Select I2, set the fill color to light purple 3, select I3, and change the text color to dark purple 1. Okie dokie. Next, select B5 through C5. Bold the font. Set the fill color to light red 3. Go to Borders, and this time click this to apply outer borders. After that, select cell B6, and we're going to enter a formula here to list out the various categories. This will tell us how big we need to make this category box. So in cell B6, enter the following formula. Equals sort function, unique function, category range, close parentheses, next argument 1, next argument 1, close parentheses, and press enter. This formula uses the unique function to grab all of the unique category values from the data. Then the sort function sorts those values in alphabetical order. These two ones tell the sort function to sort by the first column, even though there is only one column. This is still needed. And then the second one tells the sort function to sort everything in ascending order. In other words, A to Z. And of course now we can see how big our box needs to be. So select Arrange under the red box, big enough to include all categories and an extra column like this. Then go to Fill Color and select Reset. Then go to Borders and apply outer borders. Next, select the column next to the categories, which is C6 through C13. Bold the font, and change the text color to dark red 2. Next, select the range E5 through I13. Reset the fill color, go to Borders, and apply outer borders. Then select B15 through I24. Reset the fill color, go to Borders, and apply outer borders. Finally, we're going to set up the spaces for some background calculations that we're going to have to make. So select K2 through L3, reset the fill color, select K5 through K13, reset the fill color, then select K15 through P27, and reset the fill color, and we're good. Now let's add in the titles and labels. Select B2 and type in year, then month. In E2, type in total spent, then transaction count, average transaction. Then in B5, enter category, then total. In K2, enter start, then end. In K5, enter percent, and in K15, enter month, then label, start, end, total, and chart. Once you have all the values, go ahead and select columns C through P, change the horizontal alignment to center, select C5 through C13, change the horizontal alignment to right, then click the More Formats button, which is the 1, 2, 3 that you see here, and select Number. Then select E3, hold Control, and select I3. Click the More Formats button again, and select Number. Fantastic. We're now ready to start adding in the formulas and calculations. Let's begin in cell L2. Here, we want the first day of the month based on the year and month values entered in C2 and C3. So let's actually enter in 2025 and then 10 for the month. Then back in cell L2, enter the formula equals date function C2 next argument C3 next argument 1, close parentheses, and press enter. This gives you the first day of the selected year and month. Now below, we want the last day of the same month. So here, enter the formula equals EO month function, L2, next argument 0, close parentheses, and press enter. The EO month function calculates the last day of the month a certain number of months after a specified date. In this case, 0 months after the date in cell L2, which is, of course, the last day of the same month. And if we change the 10 here to a 9, you can see how both dates update. Okie dokie. Now let's calculate the 3 numbers here at the top. Starting in cell E3, enter the following formula. Equals SUMIFS function, amount range, next argument, date range, next argument, quote, greater than equal to, quote, ampersand, L2, next argument, date range, next argument, quote, less than equal to, quote, ampersand, L3, close parentheses, and press enter. So how does this formula work? Well, the SUMIFS function adds together the values from the amount range where the corresponding date is both on or after the start date in L2 and on or before the end date in L3. As a result, this gives you the total spending amount based on the selected year and month. Now, for the transaction count, select cell G3 and enter the following formula. Equals COUNTIFS function, date range, next argument, quote, greater than equal to, quote, ampersand, L2, next argument, date range, next argument, quote, less than equal to, quote, ampersand, L3, close parentheses, and press enter. This formula uses the COUNTIFS function this time to count the number of dates in the date range that fall on or after the start date in L2 and on or before the end date in L3. Finally, for the average transaction amount, select cell I3 and enter this formula. Equals round function, if function, G3 greater than 0, next argument, E3 divided by G3, next argument 0, close parentheses, next argument 2, close parentheses, and press enter. In this formula, the if function checks to make sure that the total spent is greater than 0. If so, it divides the total spent by the number of transactions. Otherwise, it returns 0. We use the if function here to avoid getting a divide by 0 error. The round function then takes the result and rounds it to the nearest 2 decimal places. Awesome. Now for the totals by category. Start in cell C6 and enter the following formula. Equals SUMIFS function, amount range, next argument, category range, next argument, B6, next argument, date range, next argument, quote, greater than equal to, quote, ampersand, L2, then make this an absolute reference by adding in $signs before the column letter and the row number. Move to the next argument, date range, next argument, quote, less than equal to, quote, ampersand, L3, then make this an absolute reference as well, close parentheses, and press enter. There's quite a lot here, so let's break it down. We're using the SUMIFS function once again to add the amounts based on several criteria. First, where the category matches the category in cell B6. Then after that, where the dates fall within the start and end dates in L2 and L3. Now, why are there dollar signs in the L2 and L3 references? Well, the dollar signs lock these references in place and will prevent them from changing whenever we copy the formula down for other categories here in a second. And this is what we want because we always want to reference these two dates in each formula. Speaking of which, once you have it working, use the blue dot that you see here, which is called the fill handle, to copy the formula down for each category. And if you notice that the borders get messed up, that's okay. Just select B6 through C13, go to Borders, select No Borders, then Outer Borders. Nice. Now let's calculate the percent values over in column K. Start in cell K6 and enter the following formula. Equals if function $E, $3 greater than 0, next argument C6 divided by $E, $3, next argument 0, close parentheses, and press enter. So what's going on here? Well, the if function checks to see if the spending total is greater than 0. If so, it divides the total spending for the first category by the overall total to give you the percentage spent. Otherwise, it returns 0. And if you see a decimal number like this, just click this button here to make it look like a percent. And you can use these buttons to add or remove decimals. And once you have it, use the fill handle to copy the formula down for each category. Okie dokie. Now for this box down here. We have to add several calculations that will end up powering the annual spending chart at the end. So first, select K16 and enter 1, then 2, 3, 4, all the way down to 12. Then, in cell L16, type in JAN or whatever label that you'd like to use for January. Then use the fill handle to expand the list down. Once you have that, select cell M16 and enter this formula. Equals date function $C, $2, next argument, K16, next argument 1, close parentheses and press enter. This formula uses the selected year in cell C2 and the month number in K16 to give you the first day of that month. And go ahead and use the fill handle to copy the formula down for the other months as well. Then, in cell N16, enter the following. Equals EO month function, M16, next argument 0, close parentheses, and press enter. This formula simply calculates the last day of the month based on the date in cell M16, and of course, copy the formula down with the fill handle. Okie dokie. Next, select cell O16 and enter this formula. Equals SUMIFS function, amount range, next argument date range, next argument quote greater than equals quote ampersand M16, next argument date range, next argument quote less than equals quote ampersand N16, close parentheses and press enter. Just as we've seen before, the SUMIFS function adds together the amounts where the dates are in between the dates referenced in M16 and N16. And again, use the fill handle to copy the formula down. Alright, one more to go. Select cell P16 and enter this formula. Equals if function O16 equals 0, next argument in a function, close parentheses, next argument, O16, close parentheses, and press enter. Here, The if function checks to see if the total value is 0. If so, it returns the NA error. Otherwise, it returns the value. And you'll see why this is important at the end. For now, just copy the formula down with the fill handle. Okie dokie, now for the charts. First, we'll make a bar chart to display the spending percentages for each category. So select the range B6 through B13. Hold Control and also select K6 through K13. Then with both ranges selected, go to Insert, Chart. Then move and resize the chart to fit within E6 through I13. After that, click on the three dots and select Edit Chart. Under the Setup tab, make sure the chart type is set to Column Chart. Then under the Customize tab, under Chart Style, set the chart border color to None. Under Chart and Axis Titles, select Chart Title and enter Spending Percentage by Category. Change the font size to 16, bold the font, set the alignment to center, and change the text color to black. Then under Series, set the fill color to light blue 1. Under Horizontal Axis, set the font label size to 14. Under Vertical Axis, set the label font size to 14. Then under Grid Lines and Ticks, select Vertical Axis and change the grid line color to light gray too. Okie dokie, only one more chart to go. Select the range L16 through L27. Hold Control and also select P16 through P27. Go to Insert, Chart, and resize the chart to fit within the white box at the bottom. Click on the three dots here and select Edit Chart. Then under the Setup tab, change the chart type to Area Chart. Move to the Customize tab and under Chart Style, set the chart border color to None. Under Chart and Axis Titles, select Chart Title, change the title to Annual Spending, set the font size to 18, bold the font, change the alignment to center, and change the text color to black. Then select Horizontal Axis Title, delete the title text, select Vertical Axis Title, and delete the title text. Next, under Series, change the line color to light purple 1, set the line thickness to 4, make the point size 10, and change the area opacity to 10%. Then under Horizontal Axis, change the label font size to 14, and bold the font. Under Vertical Axis, change the font size to 14. Then under Grid Lines and Ticks, select Vertical Axis and set the grid line color to light gray too. Close the chart editor window and you have your chart. Now you might still be wondering, why did we select this data here with the NA errors for the chart? Well, if we had plotted this data with the zeros, all of the zeros would show up on the chart, giving us clutter and data that we really don't need to see. So we plot this data instead because any NA errors don't show up on the chart, which gives us only the data that matters. That being said, go ahead and select columns K through P, right-click, and select Hide. And then click this to include hidden data for the charts. Now, if you miss this notification, that's okay. Just click on the three dots for each chart, Edit Chart, and under the Setup tab, check the box next to Include Hidden/Filtered Data. Either way, if you enjoyed this build and want to sharpen your skills further, then watch this video next for another awesome build and excellent hands-on Google Sheets practice.